Ricardo. Hey, there you are. How you doing, Ricardo?
I'm great. Thank you so much. What about you?
I'm well. Thanks again for joining on our inaugural Go Live event where we try out the OneStream platform. And so, yeah, thanks for your grace too. If none of this works, and all we walk away with is a recording of your pretty face.
Yeah. Thank you so much for considering me.
Yeah, no, the pleasure's all mine, man. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join up. I see you decided to go with the SAP TSG jersey.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You-
I feel like we should all get one. Everybody who's in the community should have one at this point.
Yeah, you know what? I was trying to get the other one, the white one, but it was sold out, so I wasn't able to get it.
Got it. Well, blue's a good look. You know, it's a powerful color. I think is TSG the only club that SAP supports in the Bundesliga?
Yeah, yeah, it's the only one.
That's kind of a surprise, right?
Yeah, I was reading the other day that one of the co-founders of SAP, I don't remember who, but one of the four co-founders of SAP bought the team. So that's why. That's why.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Because yeah, I mean, if you look kind of across, the top teams in the Bundesliga, you're like, why wouldn't SAP want to have its logo on Byron or BBB or somebody, right? Like somebody who's all over the world stage. But it makes sense now why it's TSG. Um, Still also kind of confusing then is maybe why TSG doesn't have more star players if like one of the founders of SAP who clearly has an unlimited bankroll is behind the team, right?
Yeah, well, that's another story, but yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into it. First of all, again, thanks for joining up. I really appreciate to have you on. Just want to highlight again the power of the LinkedIn SAP community, as a whole. I think if it weren't for the LinkedIn community, like Ricardo, you and I never would have met, right? So it was a purely, hey, you engaged with my content, I engaged with your content, organic relationship, starts, and here we are today. We've got you on a live stream. So I think that just kind of goes to show you the power of networking, in some of these professional sites and how it can really start to add value if you're a little bit more intentional about it. Let's start off just by talking a little bit about you, Ricardo. Tell us where you're calling in from. Tell us how you got involved in SAP. Tell us where you are today. Give us the quick rundown.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much once again for having me here, Colin. And definitely, I support what you said. LinkedIn is a great platform. It's a great network because, yeah, otherwise I wouldn't have the chance to get to know great and wonderful people like you and many others that uh, we're lucky to get connected with. Yeah, talking about me, well, I am Ricardo Resendiz. I am a friend. I am an SAP consultant, specialized in ABAP. I have around 22 years of experience in IT and 16 as ABAP developer. So it's been a long time since I joined the SAP consultancy. I am currently working for a Big Four. I am working for Deloitte. I am very happy. I am very happy working for them by now. So it is great that the things are getting exciting and everything is going great.
Yeah, yeah. Well, congratulations again on the recent sort of call up at Deloitte. I know your role changed a little bit recently. Tell us about what you were doing at Deloitte previously and kind of what you're focused on now.
Well, I started working in a project. It was a SAP BRIM implementation. It was the first time that I was working with this solution, SAP BRIM, and it was a very challenging project. But I learned a lot, and I had a lot of support from the seniors, especially from the senior managers. So it was great. I enjoyed a lot working on that implementation, working with the team. Everything was great. Sometimes you have to work overtime and even on weekends, but when you enjoy what you are doing, is those kind of efforts are worthy, especially when you are learning something new.
Yeah, I think that's a couple really important points that you highlighted. One is if you love what you do, right, you kind of never work a day in your life. And the second is the importance of like continual learning, right? And how that can really lead to additional intellectual stimulation that keeps you really interested in the work, right? I think both of those are super important. So you've told us a little bit about what you do now. You bring a ton of experience, right, on the ABAP side and also like on the consulting side. Let's go way back to when you first got into this. How did you decide like ABAP was the language that you wanted to speak as a professional? Like how did you get into it?
Well, it was kind of it wasn't like by choice, to be honest with you. I started my career working at IBM while I was a student at college. So I started working as a Java developer, web developer, and also a standalone developer. Then I moved to .NET, which was what I learned, during college, especially C++ and Visual Basic in .NET. And I was hired in one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies here in Mexico and Latam. And of course, they are SAP clients, the SAP customers. So that was my first contact with SAP. And one top senior consultant, which was about to leave the company, were teaching us, or we were his trainees, another colleague and myself, in ABAP, and that's how I got into ABAP. Then I got back to IBM working for data migration projects, and I think that's when I decided to continue my career in SAP.
Got it. Yeah, I tried C++ once, and I made it to the hello world bit, and then was like, okay, maybe this is not the right one for me, So I gave up on it pretty early. No, that's great. No, just quickly to introduce myself, like I'm Colin Ridlon. I'm the CEO of Michael Management. We're a premier provider of SAP e-learning solutions and SAP access for individuals and organizations. We believe in democratizing access to SAP education, and that anybody can learn SAP right now, whether you're a college student who's studying supply chain management, or if you're a seasoned SAP consultant like yourself. There's always something to continue to learn. Just like you said, you've been here for 17, 22 years and you're still learning, right? There's always something to continue to learn. And that's something that we believe here at Michael Management, something that's near and dear to our heart. Let's get into today's topic. So we're here to talk about the biggest maybe conference in the US for ASUG and SAP Sapphire in Orlando from June 3rd to June 5th. So some of our audience members maybe have never heard of this conference before. Personally, I didn't know about it until a few years ago. Let's just start really at the very beginning, right? So Sapphire is an annual conference that's co-hosted by ASUG or ASUG and SAP. What's the premise of the event, Ricardo?
Like you said, I wasn't very familiar to Sapphire also. I am, since I am a technical consultant, I was more interested or attracted to the SAP TechEd, that is usually on November in different countries, and during the pandemic, it was completely virtual. And that was the time that I really got into that event. But getting back into Sapphire. So for me, it's like the chance that companies have to show the benefits of the solution that they have implemented, to present these user stories or success stories, success cases. And it's also, a perfect time for networking. And this year, there is a big plus. They in the last day they are having Reese Witherspoon, so that's awesome.
That is awesome, and we'll get into that one in a second. I know the keynote on the first day of the conference is going to be delivered by the CEO of SAP, which is also pretty big. Maybe not as big as Reese Witherspoon, but also pretty important, right?
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Yeah. So I think everybody who's listening in probably knows what SAP is, right? Even if they have never started their SAP journey or they're seasoned consultants, but maybe some people don't know what ASUG or ASUG is. It kind of sounds like something you don't want on a sandwich, but what's ASUG? Like what's ASUG?
Well, in my case, the first contact that I have with ASUG is in the chapter of Mexico. I contacted them because I was curious about what they were doing or something like that. I don't know if they work the same in other countries, but here in Mexico, they are, you pay like a membership as if your company is not paying it for you, and you can join as an independent consultant, which is great because you have this chance. You pay like a membership and you get into the association. I know that in other countries, like my friends from Brazil, they have these influencers. So they represent the association, like promoting events or giving conferences, webinars, and so on. So they have a lot of events during the year. This is one of the biggest ones, around the world. So that's how I got to know the ASUG.
Okay, so then ASUG and the user groups are professional organizations for SAP users, independent consultants. It could be sort of anybody who's using SAP. And it sounds like they have regional chapters all over the place. Are they all acronyms like ASUG? Like is Brazil BUG? Is Mexico's UG MUG? Is that how they all sort of unfold, or do they have different names?
I think they use the same acronym over all the world, and just have the chapter of the city or the country they are represented.
Got it. Okay. So this is a conference that's co-hosted by ASUG and SAP. How does SAP interact with the user groups? Like, what's the relationship between SAP and the user groups when it comes to things like developing new products or releasing patches? Like, how much sort of weight and clout do these user groups have when it comes to what SAP does on the business side?
Well, in this case, it might like the first impression that most of the people, including myself, in the beginning is like it is like a sales conferences, like they are trying to sell products, but it is not exactly like that, or any company is always trying to promote their products. That's a fact. But on the other hand, in these cases, more like to showcase how other companies or other organizations are improving operations or getting into the digital world by using certain or specific SAP products. So other companies will know that already there are some companies around the world using these kinds of tools or solutions, and they will be interested in adopting those new technologies.
Awesome. Well, talking about new technologies, I think, is a great segue to sort of shift focus and talk about what's got you and myself excited at what's going to be presented at Sapphire, right? I think there's so many different topics to choose from. We know that CEO of SAP is going to be there. Reese Witherspoon is going to be there. But let's pick a topic that's a little bit closer to product innovation. I think one that's near and dear to your heart is the SAP Analytics Cloud. So let's start there. We hear all the time about the SAP Analytics Cloud being tied to words like modernization and business transformation, digital transformation, all sort of thrown around. But how does the SAP Analytics Cloud tactically help businesses achieve these buzzwords? And like what type of benefits or businesses can benefit from the SAP Analytics Cloud?
Since I started my career a long time ago, I can tell you that the best benefit of all these new technologies is the fast that they can deliver results now. Because previously, I don't know if you have that experience, but to run certain reports, you have to wait even days because the performance was not that good as it is now. And now you can get a lot of results in just a matter of minutes or maybe even seconds. So that's the power that the cloud solutions are giving to every company that is adopting these new technologies. And also, there is it is empowered not only by technology, but the usability has been improved considerably since the last years, and also you have a lot of tools that are constantly being added and improved in a daily basis, So there's a lot of things that you can relearn in order to get the maximum benefit of these technologies.
Got it. So it sounds like the SAP Analytics Cloud has come a long way, right? As far as speed and performance, usability, customizability, other tools that you can add on. So was SAP Analytics Cloud named something different before, and now it's become the SAP Analytics Cloud?
I think since the very beginning, it was pretty clear, like the goal or the main objective, which hasn't changed. They are just continuously improving. So compare to other products that in the beginning were something different and then changed it a lot. This is one of those that has been maintained over the years.
Got it. But did it change names along the way? Like, did it used to be called SAP Analytics On-Prem, for instance, and now it's SAP Analytics Cloud?
It is like the result of the evolution and the combination of previous versions, and also SAP loves to change the names to the products frequently, let's say.
Right. Yeah. A lot can be done with packaging, right? So you talked a lot about the reports that you can run, right, and how quickly they are now, or how quickly you can get those reports in the cloud versus previous versions. Can you talk a little bit about like what that means? Like what reports? Why as a business would I want to use the Analytics Cloud? What am I getting out of it? What is it showing me?
I was talking, like in a general way, only about reports, but with the analytics, it is going even further. That not only reports, because you can generate graphics, you can generate presentations, you can get insights, you can prospect, you can do a lot of things based on the information. It is not only the information as we many years ago used to present, only fetching data from different sources, from different tables, or interfacing with different systems, and in the end just presented like raw data. And now you have that flexibility to get more significant data or more significant results or insights based on a lot of data that users will never know where the data is coming from, or what is like single rows or single values, which is great because in the end, the people that is making decisions like you and top executives and the top management don't really need to know tables names or what they really mean. They want to get the results and the insights so they can make the best decisions for the organizations.
Yeah, totally. I don't ever want to have to type a join function into SQL again. I'd like to really avoid that and just get the pretty chart at the end, right? Like, give me the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That's great. Thanks for that, Ricardo. Let's switch gears a little bit into something I know is like pretty near and dear to your heart. Let's talk about SAP Business Technology Platform, or BTP. So I'm going to attend a talk at Sapphire about Victoria's Secret and Company and how they're transforming their business processes using BTP. And then also their journey to the cloud and how they're using Integration Suite to accelerate company innovation. Talk to me about BTP. Who can use it? What can they use it for? And when does it make sense to use?
It is. I am talking from the technical side, because I am technical consultant, but it is a very complex and quite interesting topic because, people that is not coming from a technical background might have a misconception about BTP and think that, okay, BTP is like just the ERP in the cloud. And that's a misconception, because in the end, BTP is a platform. It is included in the name. It is a platform where you can run a lot of services and instances. One of those services could be, in this case, S/4HANA Cloud, and you can connect a lot of services. You can have like these local no-code solutions, SAP Build Apps, which is for the applications, SAP Build Process Automation, which is like an evolution of the workflows that we had on premise that we have in the ECC and S4. You can have also SAP Build Workzone, which is to generate like these web pages and workspaces with just drag and drop options and a set of configurations. It is kind of, SAP is like making their solutions simpler to use. So you don't need anymore that very strong technical background. Of course, we still need developers, we still need sysadmin and all technical consultants, because otherwise nothing will work, But the thing now is that SAP is empowering the users and the non-technical users to enable them to add more value to their own operations, their own functionalities, or their own jobs in a daily basis,
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, and I think it dovetails into one of the mantras you've heard a lot from the SAP camp, which is these are no longer IT initiatives; these are like business initiatives, right? And so they're trying to empower the non-technical users to do things like drag and drop and make it super simple, so that the people who understand the business side of the house can get the insights that they want and then use those to make decisions, right? Rather than trying to explain and translate what the business need is to a technical user, and then there's some more translation, and then after that, something finally starts to come to fruition. So let's change gears a little bit more and talk about something that's likely on everybody's mind, S/4HANA, right? From standardizing global business processes, driving efficiencies, transforming the businesses, like S/4HANA is SAP's flagship product today for ERP, right? It's a hot topic. What's got you excited about what's happening in S/4HANA right now, and what do you think we'll hear about it at Sapphire?
Well, once again, talking from the technical perspective, for me, it is not that new, because fortunately, I have been working with S/4HANA for a while, let's say like 4 years ago. So for me, it's not completely new, but it is something that I was thinking a few minutes ago before joining the call. It is kind of funny and interesting that, how to say it, the senior consultant that I learned from, and top senior developers that at some point of my career were my colleagues, now reach out to me so I can guide or provide any advice to them to get into these once again so-called new technologies, because it is not new, definitely, but the thing is, as you may already know, there is still a lot of companies already using ECC. So this is a perfect time, since the support of ECC is going to finish, is going to be ended in 2 more years, in 2027. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that shift was made famous, in Star Wars, right, where Darth Vader says to Obi-Wan Kenobi, like, the apprentice has now become the master, right? And so you've got your old seniors who are reaching back to you, asking you about the technology and how to use it, back when, how roles have shifted over the last couple of years, right? What are some of the topics? What do you think we'll hear about about S/4HANA at Sapphire? Like, what do you think the big push is going to be from SAP?
Well, in this case, I think that SAP has started like a campaign, not only with ASUG, but everywhere, to promote the migration to S/4HANA, to invite all their customers to start preparing to leave the ECC and start moving to S/4HANA. At the same time, it is not only now to move to S/4HANA as it was at the beginning, because at the beginning, most of the companies were moving to S/4HANA on premise. But now the approach of SAP has changed since 1 or 2 years ago, to move everything to cloud, either
right,
public, private, or a hybrid, because you are still having this possibility to connect your own premise to the cloud, which is great. But the main or the top recommendation is to move definitely to cloud.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I think that will be the common thread through a lot of the customer success stories that we hear about at Sapphire, is how somebody went from a legacy ECC on-prem to a public cloud with a clean core, and how greatly it's working, how much they love the innovation packs that get pushed out on a regular schedule, how it's working for them. I think you're spot on. All right, Ricardo, well, we've covered a lot of ground today, but let's wrap up with a question that's on everybody's mind. Maroon 5 and Reese Witherspoon are both attending Sapphire this year. Who's got you more amped up, and why?
Well, in this case, like we have been discussing private since few days ago, is I really loved Reese Witherspoon. So I was even thinking on going by myself. Unfortunately, with this change of role and new account, it is impossible. But it was one of the top things that would have moved me to go to Sapphire this year.
Yeah, after Songs About Jane, I kind of lost interest in Maroon 5. Adam Levine's a cool dude. I think I'd like to maybe get a beer with him, but I'm not so into. I feel like they've been making the same song for the past decade, same melody. So I'm also more excited about Reese Witherspoon. What is your favorite Reese Witherspoon movie, show? Like what's tops for you?
Well, I really loved her in this series on Netflix. Is Little Fires Everywhere. She is the mom of the family, and she's like trying to be the perfect mom, and her family is like breaking apart, and it's a great series. And for sure.
Awesome. I think the one I watched recently was is it Big Little Liars or Big Little Lies? The one that's filmed in Carmel in California, where it's like all of kind of the richer families, and then they end up murdering somebody. I only watched the first season, but it was pretty darn good. Well, awesome. Well, thanks so much again, Ricardo, for spending some time with us to talk about Sapphire today and to get to know you a little bit better. Really appreciate your time. Thank you so much again, and let's talk again soon. All right.
Definitely. Thank you so much for considering me and for having me here. And we will definitely catch up later.
All right, sounds great. Thanks again so much for joining Ricardo. Ricardo is the concierge of SAP. You can find him on LinkedIn, doing big things at Deloitte. Wishing him all the best. And thanks so much again, everybody, for joining the live stream today. Have a great and a fantastic weekend.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.